Welcome to the Uncomfortable is Okay podcast. I'm your host, Chris Desmond. This is the show where we try and figure out how to get better at doing the hard stuff that makes life exciting. Now, as I mentioned last week, I've had a whole lot of podcast guests reschedule on me. I've got some heaps of interviews to do in the next couple of weeks, but at the moment I thought I'd throw out another solo episode all about adaptation. So the Homo sapien is a pretty amazing creature. We've spread out across the world and have at least adventured to most of the corners of the globe, even if we haven't investigated them fully. And this is arguably a bad thing, especially for the health of the planet, but it does bring up a couple of really interesting points about us as a species. The first is, number one, we're pretty good problem solvers, and number two, we're reasonably stubborn or determined, if you'd rather call us that. But I think more importantly, even than those, the fact that we've been able to do this is because we're remarkably adaptable, both as a species over time, but also at an individual level. So we adapt to environments, we adapt to situations, we adapt to the world around us and the choices that we make over time. For example, given the increase in living standards in the 20th century, worldwide there was a 9 centimetre increase in the average height in males who were born in 1996 compared to those born in 1896, which is approximately a 5% increase over a 100-year period, which is a pretty rapid adaptation from an evolutionary perspective. But at an individual level, we can think about it a couple of ways. We could think about it from a physical training perspective. If we work on a strength program over a period of, say, 3 months or more, then we start to notice our body adapting. We put on more muscle mass and we start to become stronger. If you stop doing strength-based activities, you start to lose the muscle mass. Unfortunately, we do tend to start to lose it faster than we put it on. But the same adaptation applies from a neuroplasticity perspective. So learning a new language, a musical instrument, or a new skill strengthens the neural pathways and creates new neural synapses, new neural connections. And the creation and strengthening of new neural pathways allows us to perform this new skill at progressively higher levels. So we adapt to life. And because we adapt to life, we need to choose life wisely. As we repeat behaviors and actions, our body starts to adapt to them. If we choose to challenge ourselves regularly, then we become better at dealing with challenges. If we choose to avoid hardship, then we get better at avoiding. If we choose to exercise or be active and eat well, then we get fitter and healthier. If we choose to sit on the couch and eat crap food, then we get lazier and fatter. We adapt over time based on our choices and our environments. But thankfully in the developed world, most of us live in a time where we actually have agency over the choices that we make. We have the ability to choose what we put in our body. We have the ability to choose how we invest our time. We have the access to information needed to learn new skills. And we have access to different people on an unprecedented scale through the internet. So we can drift through life taking the easy choices and the path of least resistance. And when we do, we adapt to it. We train ourselves to make the easy choice. And this is a problem when life starts to throw you lemons. Everyone's probably heard the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. If all you've done is followed the path of least resistance and train yourself to take the easy option, you haven't actually trained yourself to have the skill to make lemonade. So when life throws you lemons, instead of making lemonade, you get smacked in the face by the lemon and it leaves you with a nasty black eye. Instead of choosing to take the easy choices though, you can choose to push out of your comfort zone. You can choose to extend yourself and learn new skills. You can choose to test and build your resilience over time. You have the ability to choose how healthy you are. You have the ability to choose what skills you develop. You have the ability to choose your environment. And you have the ability to choose how you show up in life. And these choices aren't always easy. They take time, they take hard work, and sometimes it seems like the adaptation doesn't happen quickly. But when you look back at it over time, and in the scheme of your entire life, the changes are relatively rapid. And I'd argue that putting in that hard work to create the way that you want to adapt is much better than not controlling how you adapt. So the question I want to leave you with this week is, what are you choosing to adapt to? Thanks so much for getting uncomfortable with me today.